And joining me now to talk about this, two members of the General Assembly. We have State Representative Jamie Foster, a Democrat from Ellington, and State Senator Ryan Fazio, a Republican from Greenwich. And to the both of you, thanks so much for being here with us. So everyone seems to be complaining about their electric bill these days. And I want to throw it to Senator Fazio first. Why are they complaining? What's the issue?
Well, energy rates went up this month compared to the last 6 months, and that was actually a little surprising because the cost of wholesale energy in the competitive marketplace actually went down compared to the last 6 months. The reason that the overall rates went up are because of the public benefits portion of our electricity bill, which is the cost of policies passed by the state government and the General Assembly. 15 different types of expenses that are embedded in the cost of your energy bill, almost like a hidden tax, and they're used to fund those programs. So it's totally reasonable that people would be upset about that. Connecticut already had the second or third highest energy costs in the entire country. Now they're even higher.
Representative Foster, do you agree with what he had to say?
Yeah, I mean, so one, I agree with everyone's outrage. I think we're in a place where people are rightfully frustrated about the cost of energy. I think one of the things I'm a little worried about as we're having conversations about the energy cost right now is I want to focus on the primary drivers. I'm a research scientist in my training, and I try and take that data-driven approach to everything I do policy-making-wise. And Eversource asked for $784 million of an increase, and 77% of that was millstone. That's the purchase of nuclear energy. And so because of that driver of this energy cost, there's like one policy that is the primary driver of this increasing cost. And there's a lot of different things. I think philosophically, I'm not opposed to where we pay for policy charges. I'm not opposed to the proposals that my colleagues have proposed about where we put policy benefits. But I think fundamentally what we're talking about right now is the cost of the Millstone power plant and the purchase of those powers and how that's driving the energy rate right now. And that's $605 million of that total cost.
What are your constituents saying to you about this?
It's really hard. I think a lot of things we talk about politically are a lot less nuanced. There's a smaller number of drivers. Since I've been on the Energy Committee, I look for the lever that you can pull, and there's a lot of different levers we can pull. And one of the things my constituents are very happy to hear is that we passed legislation on a bill that I introduced that up until this point, when Eversource or UI went before the General Assembly, the cost of their lobbyists were passed on to ratepayers. That's ridiculous. Their interests are never best representing us.
Senator, I'll let you respond to that.
Well, I think that people want leadership. They're hurting in this state. The cost of living is too high. Their electric bills are too high. State government bears some responsibility for that because of the policies that have been implemented over the last 10 years. And we, as Senate Republicans, have introduced a plan just this week, a 5-point plan that we believe will reduce energy costs by at least 10% in the short or medium run and longer in the long run.
Walk me through that proposal.
So it's a 5-point plan. First, we're going to take some of these public benefits charges out of your electricity bill. They don't belong there.
And public benefits, just so people know, that is so when someone doesn't pay their bill, their electricity doesn't get set off?
That's one of the 15 different programs that are embedded in the public benefits part of your bill. I think those should be funded, if they're funded at all, through the normal budget process. The second is to limit the cost of state-directed energy purchases and contracts, which sometimes could be 5 or 10 times higher than the competitive marketplace. Third is to have an all-of-the-above competitive clean energy space rather than picking winners and losers. And we have a couple other proposals to secure the natural gas supply, especially in the winter, and to have an independent and tough regulator so we can prevent abuses from Eversource and other electric utilities.
And what do you and other Democrats think about that proposal?
I mean, I will just say, like, Millstone, this policy proposal, like, that is the driver of it. So I think when we talk about public benefits, I think a lot of the public is thinking that this is arrearages and shutoff protection and all of those programs, but that's actually not the lion's share of it right now. And I just feel like that's an important record to set straight. And I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the entire Democratic Party, and I won't try to. It's a big house.
We'll let you today.
But I will say that fundamentally, if you support programs that protect people from shut-off protection, if you pay for it in the policy initiatives or if you pay for it in your bill, you're still paying for it. things like addressing the Millstone plant. Right now, Connecticut purchases 50% of the nuclear energy that's produced at Millstone, and we are paying 4.99 cents per megawatt for that rate, and that is significantly higher than the cost of natural gas right now. And the difference between that and the natural gas purchase rate, that is what we're paying for in this adjustment. And so I think that that's the policy that we need to talk about changing. If ratepayers want us to be acting quickly to do something that's different, that's a policy we need to look at.
So what's a timeline as to when things could change?
Well, we called for a special session this week as Republicans in the legislature because we think the fact that our energy rates, our electricity rates, are the third highest in the country is a crisis that needs to be addressed, certainly a greater crisis than some of the things we went into a special session for a month or so ago. We need to act. We need to take major reforms and show leadership as a state government in order to lower the medium-term, long-term trajectory of energy costs.
And I meant to give you a chance. What are your constituents telling you about this? What kind of things have you heard in the last week?
People are hurting. I mean, in this state, you know, whether you're a retiree or a middle-income family or a lower-income family, you're having a difficult time making ends meet. That's what I hear from constituents every day. Makes it more difficult if you're a small business owner or if you're a manufacturer to create jobs. We need to act to reduce the cost of our energy bills, certainly, as well as other sources of the high cost of living in Connecticut.
You're both up for re-election this year. Do you think it hurts you this fall? I mean, people are angry.
I think that it's an uncomfortable conversation we're having, but what I have like incredible confidence in the people in my district is when I'm having conversations with people on doors, despite energy policy being incredibly complex, people are eager to hear that there are actual plans and solutions in place that could make a difference. And they're happy to hear that there are things that we've already done that have taken place that are making a difference, like not allowing lobbying costs to be recouped on the ratepayers.
What do you think about a special session?
I'm not opposed to having a special session. I will say 150 years ago or more than that, the Supreme Court made a decision that allows our utility companies to recoup the cost of providing services on the ratepayers. And that's a federal vote. And so I'd be interested to see what the special session call would do that would offer immediate and swift assistance. And I'd be happy to read that proposal.
What kind of overall reforms would you like to tackle in the next legislative session in 25?
Well, they're laid out in the 5-point plan that I co-authored.
And so if this doesn't get done in special session, you're going to...
Absolutely. I mean, we need to have a tough independent regulator to protect us against the utilities. We need to limit the cost of generation and the contracts we ink for generation. We need to ensure we have enough supply of energy, and we need to make sure we have an all-of-the-above clean energy strategy. Those things will ensure that we're protecting different considerations while limiting costs for consumers.
I'll let you have the last word.
And I'll say, like, I have a lot of confidence in our chair as she's acting. We have a new co-commissioner on the commission now, and we'll see if that makes a positive difference in the way that these decisions are voted. But I really do believe that we are working to giving PURA better teeth, better ability to regulate energy, and I'm looking forward to seeing the fruits of those labors.
And August is a big air conditioning month, so people will be getting another bill that they may not be happy with. All right. State Representative Jamie Foster and State Senator Brian Fazio, we thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Connecticut. Best of luck with that.